about innovation and how it evolved and what it made it possible for AI to evolve from technology. Thank you.
Thanks for the introduction. My name is László Konya. There was some misunderstanding, I think, because you conferred Antal. Antal is really our site manager in Szeged. We are proud having him there, and he's there on site. I've just seen him. My name is László Konya. I'm the VP of Growth Portfolio in Deutsche Telekom IT Solutions. I'm happy to be with you here, guys, today. We are really excited about the whole event and proud to be here. And I brought you a couple of ideas about AI and healthcare. And can you hear me? Because I hear some background noise. Can I continue? Okay, so first of all, I would like to start with an interesting story from 1805. It is the Battle of Trafalgar. In 1805, two large armies have fought a big battle on the water. One of them was the British Army, which was led by Admiral Nelson, and the other one, the Spanish Army, which was actually at that time in this battle much larger. So there were 27 British ships against 33 Spanish and French ships. And usually in these battles, the ships were staying in two lines and just fighting parallel to each other and shooting each other. That was the usual way of fighting these battles. And in this battle, because they were outnumbered, Nelson came up with an idea which already was used in smaller battles, but this was the most known battle where this innovative kind of idea was used. And he attacked in two perpendicular lines, the Spanish army. And what happened is that they just attacked them in a very unusual way and practically destroyed large part of the French army, the Spanish French army. They won the battle and they ensured the British domination for the next quite a few years, 100 years on that part of the world. And why I brought this to this AI in healthcare topic, because it's just as opposite end of healthcare. So what I wanted to emphasize that innovation and innovative ideas can be used in many areas of the of our life. Can be used, as you can see here, also in art of war and even in destroying lives. And how better and how much more creative and human is if you use innovation for a good purpose, for healthcare, and let's focus in the future our efforts to really improve the healthcare with AI and other tools. If you look a little bit into the history, I put here on this slide the history of the most important innovation in healthcare. I will not go one by one. You can see that I thought I took this from several websites, just gathering those which I found and which really made sense for me. It started somewhere around 1800 and then slowly getting up to speed. And if you see, after 1950, practically innovations become much faster and came every few years, new innovations coming in until actually 2021, which I put here the COVID vaccine at the end, which I believe it's one of the most important healthcare innovations in the world. So practically started to increase in an exponential way. And if you look at the life expectancy in the world, you can see that practically in the last 100 years, it started to grow very fast. In 1900, we were still around 30-40 years expected lifetime in the world. And in 100 years now, we are close to 70-80. So it's really nice to look back. It started to grow, and now we have a new technology. Now we have a new methodology, which is AI, which could really bring this to a new speed, an enthusiastic, nice new speed. If you look at artificial intelligence, we can see that. Guys, we have a lot of background noise, and I'm afraid that it's here, or it will be heard in the YouTube as well. Can you go on mute on your side? Guys, can you go on mute on your side, because it's very noisy here. Thank you very much. So if you look at artificial intelligence, as of now, artificial intelligence is mainly artificial narrow intelligence. It means machine learning. It means recognizing patterns and learning a lot about our environment. If you look ahead, we expect that maybe in 20 years, we might reach artificial general intelligence, which means the capacity of a human brain, and an artificial superintelligence, which could be consciousness. It might be sci-fi. I don't know if we will reach that ever. But if you look at what we have now, that came not as a surprise, because artificial intelligence and machine learning, if I'm jumping back here, the idea of machine learning is not a new idea. We know about that for quite a long while ago. But if you look at the technological background, in the last 60, 70 years, it's changed enormously. And the computing capacity of the computers, as you can see here, improved in a fantastic way. If you look at the transistors or integrated circuits, the price decreased by 4 million times, the speed by 6,000 times, and the storage capacity improved enormously as well in the last 50 years. Because we started with the little, tape drives, hard disk, floppy disk, etc. And now we have the cloud storage, which is unlimited. So practically now we have the storage to store the data, and we have the capacity to work on the data. And these two were needed to be able to do the machine learning thing. And what is AI able to do nowadays? AI practically can speak, translate, drive, learn, write, see. So a lot of things what we are sensing and using, AI can observe the environment, understand it, and make a few decisions about that. It cannot do really creative things and even caring about people. So emotions are, we are able to copy emotions, but we are not able to generate them. So if you look at the general patterns of the AI, practically the most wide usage is supervised learning, and maybe many of your ideas are using supervised learning as well. We are showing a lot of apples to the AI algorithm, that this is the apple. We show some pear, an orange, or anything else showing that this is not an apple. And when we show a picture of an apple, then it will identify it as an apple. That's very, very briefly, of course, the supervised learning. And this is the most used methodology of AI nowadays. And just to concluding my presentation, I brought you a very short video. I hope you will be able to see it. It's from a series called The Age of AI. Robert Downey Jr. is the moderator of it. It's on YouTube. You can watch it free. I brought you just 1.5 minutes, and it's about a hand, a manufactured hand for people who lost their hands. And let's watch it. Okay, it's 1.5 minutes.
To his next innovation, the Skywalker hand. Inspired by Luke Skywalker from Star Wars and created in collaboration with Jason, the revolutionary tech brings what was once the realm of sci-fi a little closer to our galaxy.
This is just like a 3D printed hand that you can download the files online.
Currently, most advanced prosthetic hands can't even thumbs up or flip you the bird. They can only open or grip using all 5 fingers at once.
Most of the prosthetics that are available on the market nowadays actually use Emg Technology, which stands for electromyography. And essentially what it does is there are 2 sensors that make contact with my residual limb, and they pick up electrical signals from the muscles. So again, when I flex and extend my residual limb, it will open and close the hand, and I can rotate as well. But the problem with EMG is it's a very vague electrical signal, so 0 to 100%. It's not very accurate at all. The Skywalker hand actually uses ultrasound tech. Ultrasound provides an image, and you can see everything that's going on inside of the arm.
Ultrasound uses high-frequency sound waves to capture live images from inside the body. As Jason flexes his muscles to move each of his missing fingers, ultrasound generates live images that visualize his intention. The AI then uses machine learning to predict patterns, letting a man who's lost one of his hands move all 5 of his fingers individually, even if he's as unpredictable as Keith Moon.
The work that Gil is doing is really...
So this was, I watched many of the episodes of this series, and this was the most capturing one, and maybe it's also inspiring you guys. So just to understand how fantastic is the usage of AI here, that if you try to link a hand, which you lost part of the hand, and you try to link that physically, you cannot create a mechanism as of now which moves your fingers, because it's too sophisticated, the muscles inside your hand. What they did here is that they are looking with a ultrasound through the hand, and whenever you think about moving your finger, something happens in your hand. And the ultrasound, with machine learning, AI can identify after a lot of tries that you are thinking about moving your finger. And after they exercised a lot with AI and learned a lot, it started to work fine. So I think this is a really inspiring story. And this is what we expect from you guys as well. Maybe many of you have seen this little child game. I call it a child game because for adults, it's a really tough game. You have 9 little dots here, you know, and the exercise is to draw 4 lines. And usually a lot of adults fail at this exercise because we just try to link these dots, and the right solution is this one when you go outside of the dots. So that's what we expect from you guys, and hopefully a lot of solutions from you and ideas in these days are coming from you to the committee with out of the box ideas, going outside of the lines. Wishing you success and all the best for the organizers as well. Thank you very much for your attention.
Just close it. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Kérdés? Okay, and thank you for the presentation. Honestly, I couldn't really listen to it, but I saw the slides and I will go through them later on as well, and I will watch the YouTube stream of the presentation. So thank you. Do you wish to stay with us for the rest of the event or no?
No, unfortunately, I have to go to another meeting now. So thank you very much for. I wish you all the best for today.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay. And now we got to the most interesting part of the event. We can welcome the jury. I will say thank you in person as well that you could make it here and you accepted our invitation to be the jury for this event. Esther Megyeri, she's a professor at the University of Szeged. She's teaching logistics, supply chain management, operation management, and she has plenty of experience on this field. Peter Marotti, he is the head of the Nature Sciences Cluster at the University of Szeged. He is also a director for a regional innovation agency. And he also has 20 plus years of experience on the field. Antal Ördög, he is the site manager at the Szeged site at the Deutsche Telekom IT Solutions Hungary. And besides his role, he is also a project manager as well as a lead of team at the, yes. And last but not least, Andrea Dyker, who is also working at the Deutsche Telekom IT Solutions as a senior process manager, excuse me. As well as she has experience in coaching people, and also she was part of local and also international projects developed for innovation. And are you guys ready?
Are you ready? Yeah. Louder.
Then we can start with the student presentations. It's for the jury. You can find an evaluation form on the table. Please use it, but later on we will provide the opportunity to go to another room and discuss the final results. All right. Mit csinálnak? Ez melyik projekt? Hol van? Hol van? Mi? 11. Oké. Jó, nem tudom, hogy majd megnézem. Vidd el valahova. Vidd oda Marcinak. It's fine. Yeah. The team asks for excuse that they had a problem to download their presentation. They did it in the French system of something, but it ended up like this. But I would like to ask the first team to hold their presentation. They will talk about an AI solution for hospitals, hospital inventory systems, and the team Miotra prepares for the next presentation.
Much better. The timer. Okay. Okay. So hello everyone. Let's talk about the hospital inventory system. So let me John. He's the hospital manager in the system of inventory. So look at him. He's stressed out. So what happened to him? He has a system of management with full of errors, and it's time consuming for him to track the stalkers, and it's financially inefficient because he didn't get the best price when he need to buy supplies, and he can manage in emergency situation because he didn't know exactly the numbers of the supplies that it left. So what can we offer to him? It's the smartest inventory management software. So what he can do, it's on the one hand, we have the prediction of needs and automatic orders. So John can check the number of supplies, and he can order more easily, and he can finally handle the emergency situation by the hospital network, because he can, with this network, he can really ask another hospital to give the supplies that he needs. And also he can help another hospitals. And so our solution provides three parts. We got the software, hardware, and then network. So what exactly this means? So we got the AI who can do the real-time checking of stocks and the prediction of needs, and also automatic orders. So it can give the accuracy and efficiency, and that's how John saves his time and money for hospitals. So if you choose our hardware, it guarantees you that the total compatibility with our software. And we got the network with another hospitals, so so you don't need to stock all the supplies in your hospital, and when you at an emergent situation, you can just ask them to help you. And also, we got the cloud usage to make sure the safety of your data. And also, we got the user-friendly interface.
So next, we need to considering about our business model. First is about the customers. Who are we customers? Firstly, we are taking on the individual hospitals who by themselves need to manage on their own. And then we eventually want our customer to be the national healthcare system. And even furthermore, and we even want to enlarge our customer group to the into a unified ecosystem of the healthcare provider to establish a network. And just to give you an idea how large the market size is, just like in the graph, for example, in Germany, there are nearly 1,400 privately owned hospitals. So what about the globally? It means we are talking about nearly $27 billion US revenue per year, and even we narrow up to a single country, for example, Hungary, we are talking about 20 million for the first 4 years. So how can we making the money? We will provide with the tier level licensing. If you opt to buy the basic package with the customer features and that opt to your specified needs, that's the basic part. And then we also offer you the premium package, which the technical support is the extra. And no matter which package you get, is possible to access to the network, which is beneficial in terms of the collaboration with different hospitals. And furthermore, we also have the option to lend to the hardware equipment. So what then is why we are better than our competitors? I think from one side is based on the fact that we have the networking system, so that you do not need to have a large amount of inventory. So it means the cash flow is more flexible. And then on the other side is about the accuracy, because we use the AI. So it's like a real-time tracking, and you can get your storage level at every single moment, which makes our much better than our competitors. So why are we the best people to bring to the market? Let me move to my colleague.
Okay, well, we have the very great medical professional. She is very good at to solve the medical problem, and she knows what hospital needs. And we have the very smart people with business skills, and we can make it into the sustainable business model. And we also have a very brilliant technical team to support us to create all of them, to bring the solution that we are talking about. Absolutely, we have a long way to go. Let me shortly introduce the roadmap. First of all, we need to complete a team. We are not enough people, so we need your help now and to be able to build our MVP. If it's work, it's really action the people to help the people. We run the pilot with the hospital. The hospital allows us to make more value and depends on our feedback. And in the final software, when we finish the final version of the software, we will go to the market and find the customers with it. Okay.
Sorry guys, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you passed the time limit.
Finish
with
the
the
slides. Okay.
last
Yeah.
sentence. Yeah. So that's our AI hospital inventory management. What you need when you need nothing else. Thank you, everyone.
Now the jury has the opportunity to ask questions from the team.
Yeah. Just add. This is a happy journey after using our system. And for the question, we are ready. Our team is ready.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, thank you for your work on the project. I know that it's not easy to do something like that. When I was young, I took part in activities like you do now. So it's really a complicated task, I think so. So a very big thank you. But I have a couple of questions about the concept itself. The first question that came into my mind when I saw your presentation was that if you did a market research about the competitors and so on, but partially you answered the question later when you talked about the competitors. But when you just stated that, and we are the best, I miss something there. I cannot really understand, based on the information that I got, why you are the best compared to the other ones. Okay, sustainability and I don't know what was the other tangible, but what is exactly the unique part of your project in this story?
I think it's the part of the theme, why we are the best,
Yeah, in terms, thanks for your question. And in terms of the market competitor, actually we evaluate in different angle. For example, we see, okay, whether they do the 5 items like the prediction orders, automatic orders. I think most of them now, they can do the real-time tracking. And then another thing is about the healthcare specific, because there are so many different firms. They may do the whole market or only focus on one specific market. But what I think differentiate us from others, the 2 things is about the prediction orders and also the automatic orders. So it's like another thing we want to include all these dimensions. It's like our competitors may cover several of these dimensions, but we want to include it all to get a great aggregation of all the factors.
Okay, thank you. And just one more question from my side, if you allow me. The very beginning point of your presentation was that you will use AI for this task, or behind it. And my question is, why? This type of solutions might exist on the market, as you mentioned, and I cannot see the big added value of AI in this solution. If you can explain, maybe that will help me to understand why AI.
Maybe I would add to this question and help you out a little bit, because physical inventory checks was some area which you mentioned. So maybe if you could be, on an idea level, be specific how AI would help specifically telling whether your inventory is right or wrong, would be a great insight. Thank you.
So why we use AI in our in this system? Because AI can actually predict the orders. Like we give the data that about of the hospital to AI, so it can learn the system of the hospital, when the gloves will use maybe one box for 2 weeks, or maybe 3 boxes for 2 weeks, so he can give exactly the numbers of the box using by like a week or month. So the AI do the prediction, and the human us we check the numbers, we check the results. Yeah, the results. So it can improve the system. So we can actually know that when we will run out of the supplies, and we can make a better plan to prepare all the emergency orders. And what's the best part of our project, I think it will be the hospital networking. Like if we make it successfully, so there will be a lot of hospitals in this project. So it's a big network. So AI can actually know every sources supplies of all the hospitals, and if we have some emergency situation like COVID, it can help us with a short of supplies. And yeah, I think that's why we are the better system than another ones. Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
If I might add just a little bit from the medical point of view, you see when generally hospital order our stuff that we need, we have an estimation, like we probably have this, we will need this amount of gloves. But this thing that we will probably need is not good enough, because what happens if, for instance, in a pandemic situation, we need more. That's why generally hospitals overstuff. So we have all these rooms with the stock that just for some reason we might not use. So we already spend the money from a stock that might go expired, and also it takes up place. Especially in the pandemic situation, the place is a luxury within the hospital. So if the AI have the potential to do a model, a prediction model for us that will make this phenomenon of overstuffing the hospitals less likely to happen.
Thank you guys for the presentation. I would like to ask the following teams to talk in the microphone, because the whole event is streamed and nothing can be heard if you're not speaking to the microphone. Okay. All right? Okay. It's okay, no problem. And thank you. I would like to ask the team Miotra to come, and the one who prepares for the next presentation is the green team. There is a folder over here. Okay. Over here. Miotra Press. Awesome.
Should we start? Okay. Good afternoon. I would like to start by pointing out an interesting statistic. According to the World Health Organization, at least 2.2 billion people suffer from vision problems, and for at least half of them, this could have been avoided if they used preventative measures. So you would be surprised to see the sheer amount of problems and conditions people have, but those that could have been prevented with certain measures. These problems can include eye strain or computer vision syndrome,
amblyopia or lazy eye, which is basically the reduced vision in one eye caused by abnormal visual development early in life. We have vergence, myopia, dysfunction, strabismus, and many, many more. Now, I would like to ask you to raise your hand if you are wearing glasses or have vision problems listed or even not listed there. Okay. And many studies, including this one, support the need for an exercise device. According to the study done in 2016, 78% of American adults had a phone or computer and spent daily at least 5 hours on screen, which led them to 90% of them to have computer vision syndrome. And we don't need many researches like this. Just this small survey that I just did with raising hands proves the point that we need such preventative exercise devices for eyes. So for that reason, I would like to introduce you our solution for this global issue, which can also help the generations that will come. Let me introduce Mayotra, cutting-edge software with accessible hardware to deliver an affordable way to help billions.
Our product consists of two assets. There's a software for a smart device, and there's a hardware to test vision at different distances. The hardware is engineered in a way that it does not produce blue light, therefore it does not further harm the user's eyes. And the Myotras are placed at different spots, one closer to the user and one distance to, more farther from the user. The user can then focus on a proximal point and a distal point, thereby actively exercising their eye muscles. Eye exercises can be used to strengthen eye muscles, help focus, ease eye movements, and stimulate your brain core for vision, your brain's vision center. Myotra eliminates eyesight problems by implementing preventive measures, and that's our focus. We've conducted a SWOT analysis of Myotra that you can see on the screen now. I've highlighted the most important aspects of it. Now, regarding our strengths and opportunities, we are presenting an innovative technology, and we've studied the market, and we've seen that there is a lack of similar products on the market. Now, this is highly personalizable, and we've done health assessments as well. So this way you get the best value for your money that you invest in Myotra. Now, this is a completely new direction on the market that has not been tapped before. There is a high incidence number, and there is loads of people suffering from eye vision problems, as we've seen just in this presentation as well. Of course, we have weaknesses and threats. The maintenance of the product and the difficulty to operate it could be a problem, but that entirely depends on the software and the implementation of the hardware. Now, for the market research, I would like to introduce our market specialist, who will talk about that a little more.
Thank you. So, the main question is how we fill in the market. So, according to the slide, we will see our market size. We have two stages. First one, it's like to implement our device within IGLO countries. It should be like 45% of students that will be our potential customers. And according to our survey that was conducted 2 days ago, about 75% of students that are living in the campus of Szeged are willing to try our new device. Our second stage will connect it with global data information. It is provided that in Germany, France, and Italy, there are a dominant percentage of people who suffer from the illnesses that should be treated by our devices. So, our scaling plan. First of all, we need to tell us that we have the prototype already, but according to new advances of it and implementing our AI solutions, our next, more advanced prototype number one, will go to the EU Glove country area, and I suppose the potential customers will be students for the short period of time. After that, we will have from 1 to 3 year plan to obtain all necessary data obtained from our consumers to upgrade our devices and to make prototype number two. After that, with such upgrades, we can go to the further European countries and broad our market. And after that, we will go to the third stage, and it will be like we will enter the international market. So here we also see the competitive analysis. From the right side is the Marotti, and from the left side and in the bottom, there are some other companies' products that can be a bit competitive. But first of all, there are advances and some kind of drawbacks. For example, Embryo Play and IM Lab are software that are also dedicated to perform some eye exercises. However, they put a great impact on the screen, while our Marotti devices do not use so much screen time for this. So screen exposure is dangerous, according to this. Another companies like Sustain Ultra, Isilure, and Ray-Ban offers lens, glasses, and eye drops, artificial tears, for example, to maintain the worsened health condition, not improving it at all. So it is also advanced, like beneficial from our Marotti devices that it will like offers some exercises that will improve the health condition in much better way. Here we can see our business plan. Here's more detailed plan, and you can see several sections. It will be like from problem, solutions, until cost structure and revenue streams. Regarding problems, you have heard already that there are really a majority of people that suffer from vision problems, and according to prevention measures that can be offered by our devices, about half of these illnesses can be really prevented and treated in proper time. Regarding cost structure, the price of the product will be estimately 200 euros. So thank you for this. And this is Marotti, cutting-edge software, accessible hardware, and an affordable way to help billions. Okay.
Thank you. If you have any questions, we are happy to answer them.
Anybody?
Okay. Thank you very much for the presentation. It was very interesting, and I would be interested in such a product. So I would like to ask you can you explain more a little bit what the product itself is? It was a very short time you spent on it, and you are under a constrained time. So
okay.
it would be interesting to hear just in a couple of sentences.
Okay.
How do you
I would like to use our like other slides. It's the first prototype, like a demo version. And it was connected that we put tube groups on this kind of platforms, and from the another side. And the main point that is client by our user will be here and use far and distance approach of the exercises by observing the proper order and colors of the cube groups.
It's basically two devices that the user can look, and the reason for having these devices at a proximal and a distant point is so that the eye muscles are forced to focus on a closer object and a distant object, and then you use your software, your program, and it is connected to those cues, and then you can assess if you correctly identify the icon that the device itself shows, and on the proximal object and on a distant object, and then you can assess the situation with your eyes. And you can look at the closer one and then the distant one, and train your eye muscles, flex the eye muscles, and sort of relieve eye fatigue.
Okay. At the end, there will be a mobile platform on the advanced version, and like we will use special software like scan surface app, as well as iSolver and some kind of other programs that will help us to mix colors, and not only colors. We can also like have special paper based pictures which we can like just stick on different surfaces, and it will also be different kind of exercises. According to our previous background, I have received different set of exercises that were approved by physicians from the Filatov Clinic, ophthalmological clinic, that have research units. And there are some of examples of the set of exercises that can be performed using our device in like implementing our AI. advances.
It seems like another presentation.
They are completely approved by physicians.
If there is a short question, we can listen to it, or we can go to the next one. All right.
Thank you for your attention.
I would like to ask the green team, who will have a solution for growing plants indoors, and prepares the agro-intel team. It's here. Presentation. Try to keep the time.
Okay.
And there you go.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. Hi to everyone. It's my honor to be in this program, and I would like. Sorry. Yeah, I'm in middle of serious thing. Okay. Okay, I will buy broccoli. Okay. Okay. Okay, sorry guys. It's my girlfriend. She asked me to buy broccoli, but I wish I could grow my own broccoli and own vegetables to be, to know the process of growing the vegetables. I don't know I can do it or not.
What if you could grow your own vegetables inside your own house?
Is it possible?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. We devised a system that has vertical layers, so it doesn't occupy space. It's equipped with sensors, and you'll be able to grow different kinds of vegetables and monitor it through your an app on your phone.
Okay, but I was searching before my girlfriend called me that, there are some product like popular company like Bosch company, so they invented a same thing. So if I was a customer, I would like to buy the Bosch product because they are popular, so I would rely. It's a bit expensive, but maybe I would like to buy it.
Yeah, that's true. There are several other competitors, but we have different features, and we have special things about our product because the other competitors, they require you to buy their own seeds, so you're not that free to choose what kind of seed and vegetable you want to grow, and it's a little bit more expensive. So. Our special features would be you could choose your own seeds. You don't need to buy it was an espresso machine. You'd have to buy brand coffees or seeds. You could have any kind of seeds and vegetables. You would be able to customize and see if you wanted more layers or less layers of the vertical farming according to the space you have. It would, upon you need it or not, also self-regulate the water parameters, light, and so on. And finally, it would be community-based. So what does that mean? Is like you would be connected with other people that also want indoors farming, and you'd be able to share what's the best way to grow it, and share that in that kind of way. So it could be optimized by AI. And this is our features in a more abridged way. So, like I said, vertical farming, which is space optimization, community library, which would help the cooperation, mobile application to be easy to interact with the system, and automatic care, so the user spends little time working on their plants if he doesn't have it. So I'll present briefly our initial business model. Like the other competitors, we thought of having an initial cost for the system. So it would be 300 euros per layer. So in each layer you would have a specific type of vegetable that you could choose, but each layer, each vegetable. And additionally, the user, to participate in the community, they would have to pay a monthly fee of 10 euros. And that's how we would have our business model. And for customers that...
Yes. Maybe I look like a young adult, so is it fit for me? I think I'm young.
Yeah, I think you are too. Yeah, our product would be focused on the audience of young adults, people that are a little bit of technology savvies, and they live in urban areas, so they have little space for farming outdoors and so on. Yeah, and they're interested in environmental conscious, so they want to grow indoors, no space for farming outdoors, and live in the city, and so on. And we would target these people with, obviously, social media, as it is common. And we thought also to contact green supermarkets that sell more environmentally friendly products and have them showcase our product. And maybe we'll start with that for partnerships and to get the product out into the market.
Okay, I look like a very professional customer. When I want to buy something, I would look for the market. It's interesting. As you can see, the market for indoor farming, starting from 2018 to 2028, it's gonna rise with 11%, and it's very amazing. And many measures have been done about it, from 2021 to 2028. It is estimated that it's gonna be doubled to $75 billion, and I think it's very amazing. The same happened for the Europe, that start from $2.8 billion to $3.8 billion. So we're gonna hit a very big market. But before starting the projection, what I would like to tell you, because it may be missed, that the product that I want to buy, named UV, that comes from You Dream, We Grow. We estimated that the initial cost for have this system design is 300 euros. So, and if we have a loyalty customer as me, so I would pay 120 euros for annual subscription, so it would be in total 420 euros. So let's think luckily that we have 10,000 customers at the first year, so at the end of the third year, we hopefully have 50,000 loyal customers. We are a group, including Ricardo, me, as Erfan, Liang, Rasik, and Flix. And we have our mentor, is Veronica, she's not here. Thank you for your attention.
Just on time, thank you very much. Then waiting for the questions from the jury.
Can you hear me?
Yes, but the microphone is not.
Now? Cool. So thank you so much for the presentation. My question is related to the AI technology itself. So how is it included in your presentation or in your topic?
Okay, thank you. So we said that there would be a community-based system, and we thought about, we didn't mention a lot of it, so that's our bad, but the objective would be to gather data from the customers and see their performance on growing the vegetables. And maybe using that data, we could recommend a system which would use the machine learning or AI, and that would optimize the resource management on the water, the light, the nutrients. And so at the beginning, we would use data that is known, but with data from the customers and machine learning, it could be possible to optimize the resources. So that would be the strength of using AI in the project. It would just be really, instead of using, like, for example, 1 liter of water, if you could decrease it to 70 centiliters, it would be still good, because if there's a lot of people, you save a lot of water in general.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
To be honest, it's one of my favorite topics. I like it very much.
Me too.
And I saw a lot of different videos about the topic, and especially in the Middle Eastern countries and region, they are using this type of technology for growing mass of food for animals and stock. And there it works already. And that's why the question came into my mind that, okay, AI can help you to optimize this solution, if I understand it. But on the other hand side, it's already very seriously supported with IT. And they try to optimize everything to really have it economically okay. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's not worth to use it, even in those countries where the usage of water, for example, is very important. So my question would be, you just show us a couple of competitors on the market who are already having this type of solution. And I didn't get it. What would be your really unique selling point in this story? Can you help me with that?
Yeah. So you're right that vertical farming and this kind of business is already being applied, but we made a distinction while studying the market from big markets and small markets, and we chose to be part of the small markets, so individuals, and not for selling to other people and being like a huge warehouse of vertical farming. And so can you repeat the question? But I think I'm yeah, but let me just say one thing. So the AI, because I wanted to make sure I was answering the right thing. But yeah, we also thought that maybe in small scale, the AI could be optimized even further, because small scale is different than big scale in vertical farming.
Me as not a customer, okay. Okay, let me. I'm tall, okay. Our main feature is that the most of the product of the popular company use very modified grids and seeds. So when you buy that product, you should buy the seeds from their own, so from them. You could not use your normal seed that you buy from the supermarket. And this is why that costs you extra money that I don't like myself. So this is the main difference, that our device would work with normal seeds. And another thing that is very important, that our device is customizable. The device that Bosch company invented is like a gadget, like a phone, and you know that you cannot customize your phone, that I don't want that camera, please remove it. So, but in our device, you can customize it, how many layers you want, in what scales do you want it, and because our startup is based on B2C business, as you said, in the many countries they are working a larger scale, but I, as a normal customer, I don't want to cost this much, so our target is quite different too.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you. What? It's yours? Yes. Okay. I would like to ask the team Agro Intel to come and hold their presentation, and the one who is preparing is the Fnd. It is.
So, hello everyone. I'd like to introduce you AgroIntel. If I understood correctly, the whole jury is Hungarian, right? So, you will feel the pain when I mention the price of the bread. Yes, I feel it too. It hurts. For those who are less informed, the price of bread in Hungary is pretty high right now. Like, it wasn't this high for several years, and it doubled in around 6 months, which is a very, very, very bad thing. So we all have an idea of how much damage can a bad harvest do. But let's see how much damage it can do on a global scale. It's estimated that bad harvests can cause 120 billion American dollars of damage. And this doesn't include the large-scale farming like America and Europe. It's just the small and medium-scale farms. It's also estimated that 6.9 trillion kilocalories are lost to bad harvests, which after some calculations, that's around 7.5 million people completely fed for a year. That's like a whole smaller country. So if we completely eliminate losses from bad harvests, we can completely feed another country. And that shows us how big this loss is. Like we literally lose the nutrition for a whole country. Now, we will provide affordable soil analysis and plant disease detection using AI for farmers, which can help to prevent this, or even if it cannot be prevented, it can be mitigated, so the damage is much less. We plan to use soil monitoring and plant disease detection system that is, well, imagine huge metal poles with electronics inside. From the outside, they just look metal poles, but from the inside, they are filled with sensors and electronics and wireless data transmitter, and they are just around the field. Depending on the size of the field, more or less of them. Then imagine a drone flying above the field and actually taking pictures so we can see the plants themselves. So this way, we have data from the sensors. The sensors are permanent, so, well, semi-permanent, but they are there the whole year, so we can measure the different characteristics daily or 3 times a day, or even more when it's needed. We can measure moisture, temperature, pH, minerals, really anything we want. It depends on the sensors we plant. And then we can also use the pictures we get from the drones, and feeding this pretty nice amount of data to a multi-model deep learning system, we can detect the disease, mostly from the pictures, and also predict the disease from the soil data and the other data we have. Because if we see that we had this situation and then we had a problem, next time we have the situation, we can tell that we will have the problem. And that should be a very efficient detection system. Now, we will be mainly a B2B model, because technically the end customer is the person who's eating the food. So we are not selling to them, we are selling the farmer, who is in this case a business. But we also wish to have a co-purchaser in the form of the government, because it's also in their interest to mitigate the losses and have better exports and feed more people. So if they can subsidize this, it's much cheaper for the farmer and much affordable. It's a product that's sold as a service because it has a one-time at-cost installation. We go down, put down the sensors, and they are there. That's all. And it has a monthly fee for the regular analysis. We go out, download the data, take the pictures from the drone, and then compile the analysis for the farmer. In this case, the farmer is not only paying us with money, but also with data, because we are using deep learning. So the more data we have, the stronger we are, and the more things we can predict. And in exchange, we just make sense of the data that we get and give it to them. So this way, it's predictable. We wish to enter the market in India because it's the second largest exporter of rice, the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables, and it has around 60% of its land already cultivated. We would target the medium-sized farms because, well, we believe it's the most cost-efficient. It can be upscaled to bigger farms, but then we have to make more sensors, and as a starting business, that could be expensive, so we can serve less farms. Also, if we want to serve the smaller farms, it can be downscaled, but it's less cost efficient because putting down just one sensor on a small farm is really not that efficient. So there could be better options like China. They produce more, there's more people, but the political state is not that welcoming to investors, so we feel safer with India. We did some market research, and sorry for the pictures, but we found that there's a healthy competition, and that showed us that there is really a need for this service. But what we also found is that the competition is not providing, either they provide a one-time scanning and not constant flow of data and dynamic picture, or they provide a constant monitoring, but only one aspect. And we can monitor everything at the same time. And because of that, we have much more data and can predict much more things. Also, because they only monitor one data at a time, they can't really make predictions because they don't know enough to make predictions. This is our beautiful and lovely team. And we are very thankful for your time. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Yeah, it was the different laptop screwed it over a little bit.
So thank you so much for the presentation. It was really interesting and actual. My question is related. You mentioned that there is only one-time cost for the sensors, but if you are using it in a longer time period, it can cause additional cost in my eyes. What do you think about this?
Well, we plan to do a very durable casing. The actual metal pole would be, I believe, mostly stainless steel and other materials that are very durable to corrosion and weather and other environmental hazards. So they don't really need to be maintained. They are powered by their own solar panel on top of the pole. So the real expense is planting, like putting them there and setting them up. And when they actually misfunction and go bad, replacing them. But if we can make them really durable, like stay for at least 5 or 6 years, it's already cost efficient enough to make profit. And if we can make them live for decades, maybe, that's definitely worth it. But they have no maintenance cost, actually.
Looks like that there is a great demand for this product, while you are small to scale up very fast. How would you mitigate that risk?
Well, best case scenario, we can get subsidies from the government, and we can put out a lot of sensors in a short time. The most important thing that we need to really scale up is the data, because we need to train the algorithm. Once it is trained, it gives us a really big advantage against other companies. So we only need to survive the first few months, maybe years. 1-2 years should be more than enough so that we have the data to train the algorithm and make the predictions. For that time, we would probably give out free trials for like a year. To be exact, for one harvest, because they need to see that it actually works. And if we have the data and we have the name for ourselves, then it's much easier to expand. Also, if it's subsidized by a government, then it's much easier to market because it's a cheap solution for farmers.
I think
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for the questions and the answers as well. So I would like to ask the team Fnd Group to hold their presentation. And the team BUT is the one who needs to prepare for the next presentation. Thank you.
Where do I click it?
You can see it on there.
All the time?
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. So
Just
that one.
watch it.
Okay.
You are Fnd.
Can you all understand me properly? Perfect. So, good afternoon. My name is Lukas. I'm on the Fnd Group, and I would like to introduce you to Arvostel. In the last years, more and more fake news campaigns and disinformation campaigns, for example from Russia and China, have made their way to our news and our media, especially in health. Children are especially vulnerable in this regard for two reasons. They're too young, so they're not used to dealing with information, and they don't know how to fact check. They rather read something and they believe it. Therefore, education and assistance is needed. Our company provides the solution in Arvostel. Arvostel is a multifunctional software consisting of basically two functions. The first function is a verification tool. It's based on an AI, and you apply it on a health news, and it says it is either true or false, so it verifies or falsifies. Always when you apply Arvostel, they will also be provided educational material, which means the child will be led to the topic, why is there fake news, how can you detect fake news? And we want to supply our software to schools, because schools have the responsibility to educate children. So if the schools implement our software, we can be sure that the software will reach the most vulnerable, the children. Our business model is a yearly subscription model. So we made an example price. We didn't really agree on it yet, but if we say we sell it for €1,000 per school per year, we could set the price a bit lower to get a market entry. There might be some suspicion from the schools before they apply our software to their systems, so we could lower the price to get into the market and then maybe raise the price as soon as it is established in a country. If I analyze the market, I have to refer to a PISA study. The PISA study checked in how far 15 years old in the world are able to detect and to deal with fake news and misinformation. And which country is second last in the EU? It's Hungary. Only worse is Bulgaria. So we thought Hungary might be a good country to get our business started. There are approximately 3,000 schools in Hungary, making up for 560,000 students. If we manage to implement Arvostel in 1/4, like a quarter, 25% of these schools, that would make up for €750,000 revenue a year. And as soon as the software is implemented already in Hungary and it works, we had the market entry, we could also emerge in other markets, in other countries, for example, where it is needed, for example, Bulgaria. Here I also have to talk about the AI. Like AI works that we analyze the data that is on the internet. We analyze a lot of news on the internet, for example, on Twitter, on Google, on Instagram, on TikTok maybe. And we say this is true, this is false, this is true, this is false. In countries like the United Kingdom or Germany, where the awareness is already very high, there are already competitors, which I'm going to talk about in a second, which already provide this service. In Hungary, the awareness is not there and there is no provider for it, so we think this is like a social purpose to go into this market. We will hopefully be profitable, but that doesn't hold us back from also being a social startup. If I now analyze the competition, we can see we're having a mixture of three fields we're working on. It's the education of the children, it's the use of AI for verification of news, and it's the Hungarian language. Maybe it's also Bulgarian language if we emerge to another market. So there's, sorry for my Hungarian, Vüvös village. I heard it's something like that. It's a Hungarian language education system, so it raises awareness with the children. And there's also Czechology, it's English, so it doesn't really help Hungarian children. We decided on children from 10 to 18 as a target group because this might be the first time they get in touch with information. And we provide, as the only company on the market, a mixture of education with the implementation of AI in a language that is not so common in the world. Our team consists of me. I'm a data protection law specialist. Of Paul, he's an educational specialist. Gabriel, he's a data processing specialist and takes care of the AI processing. And Emg, who's our linguistic and marketing specialist. Us together, we're confident that we can provide an easy-to-use, age-adequate learning kit for schools, including an AI-driven news verification tool that encourages critical media consumption for students. We are the Fnd Group. We are ready not only for your questions, but also to provide a fair share in shaping tomorrow's future. Thank you.
Yeah, it's me again. So I get your point here, and what is your vision, maybe, but there are the parents. So
sorry?
Parents for the children, they have mother and a father, so they should maybe care about these kind of topics. Why should we use this kind of thing in education? What is the added value here?
We totally agree on that, and we were also discussing exactly this issue. The reason why we went to the schools and not to the parents, I think we all agree that the educational purpose is divided between school and parents. Yeah. But the problem is if we're especially talking social media, but also I would also say like the regular media, children have better access to it. Like, for example, my parents, and I think it's at least a European problem, they're not like at the heart of the time. They do not know how to use Instagram or Facebook. But that's where the children are most vulnerable because they read it and it's for their entertainment and they don't think about it whether it is true or false. And in the group of other students taught by the teacher, we feel like we can rather get them in an environment where it's more expected that they fact check.
And the AI would support the fact check, if I understand properly.
Yes.
So the teachers can be your parents. As you mentioned, they are not on the top knowledge about Instagram, but because they get support from the AI, they can handle the situation.
Well, the children themselves, I think they're also dealing with the technical devices. Of course, if you implement our software into the family computer, it's also helping the parents, but we want to get on the phone, on the tablet, on the PC of the children themselves, so they know how to enable this feature. So always when some news about, for example, COVID, some health-related news comes up, they can apply the feature and they get educated by the educational part and they get falsified or verified regarding the facts.
Thank you.
I would like to ask a question that seems to be quite easy and simple.
That's good.
But I think it's not. So, who are your target group? Who will pay for your service? Children?
No.
Parents?
No.
Schools?
The schools. We did not get very precise in that, since we don't want to only target Hungary there, but for us it's a question of how the schools are organized in a country. But we agreed on that we want to sell the software to the schools, so the schools via the teachers gives it to the students. We don't want to make the parents afford it, because then it would be, again, like we saw in the PISA study, it would be a question of economically privileged or not. But if the school says we take these €1,000 a year to educate the children, I think that's the right way to do it. And in some states or countries, schools are also standing under something like a state institution. So it would be the best if the state institution sees our product as a good opportunity to teach children in fake news detection. So if they tell their schools that they shall implement our software, that would be probably the best market entry we could get.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the Fnd Group. Then I would like to ask the BUT team to come. And our last presenter will be the team YNA.
Okay. Beauty. B-U-T. Okay. Beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself, by Coco Chanel. We can all agree with this sentence, but in today's life, in today's world, are those companies really giving us this message with their actions? When we see this ad, there is nothing wrong on the first look with this ad, but I will show you a video that will maybe change your perception on the whole thing. This is the video made by Dove company, which their message and their motto is like the real beauty. So the problem we are discussing here is the lie the companies are selling us. So they're telling us this is a real beauty, this is achievable beauty, but as we see in this video, there's a lot of makeup, and after that there's a lot of Photoshop included and sold as a real beauty. So imagine a young girl or a young boy watching this on a billboard. While they're growing up, this becomes their standard. They're growing up and this becomes normal to them. So what is this really doing to them, to their brain? See, the research that is done by DAC Gesundheit, the leading insurance company in Germany, they compared the services they provided, the money they gave for the physical illnesses, when somebody got hurt, and compared it to the mental illnesses. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but this video was put in 2006, and from 2006 we can see an exponential growth for the mental illnesses. On the second graph, I want to show you a really actual problem. This is you see the yellow graph shows the symptoms of anxiety and depressive disorder, and the red and the purple is from 2020 and December 2020 when the COVID-19 came. So we having this problem: how to make the natural beauty more popular again. And the solution is BUT. We create a platform for the beauty. We thought about how can we solve a global problem by solving an individual problem. So we want to create a platform where artists, maybe hairstyle artists or makeup artists or eyelashes, eyebrow artists, I can name a lot, can meet each other, and it will be better for the whole industry. It will be easier to give a service to one who need them. So, but how are we managing? So the whole name of this event is AI in health. So we are taking, this is the system of our application, and we took from every good social media that we found on internet, we get idea from them and implement it in our application. But the really interesting thing for us in this event is we are popularizing bioproducts. How are we doing it? By giving a blue check to artists who are using bioproducts. So if there's a people who are in need of bioproducts, they want to be more healthy, they can fund someone. And also really important is the honesty, because we have an AI algorithm that is taking down Photoshop photos and also labelizing picture with filters. Like we see on TikTok, when somebody posts a video with a filter, there is a label that this video contains a filter. So who are really our competitors? Maybe if you looked really closely to the scheme I showed you, there were the Google Maps and a lot of social media. So they are our real competitors. We can see how Google Maps implemented this problem, the solution for this problem. There, when we write down the barber shops in the Google Maps, there are some things pop off. We can see where is located the shop, where is their phone number. We can see really rarely there are some photos of the customers, and also, yeah, but this is really cold. We don't feel like really close to the artist. And here we have the implementation on the Instagram. We can feel really warm, really close to the artist, but we don't have a basic information. So the whole idea is for us to implement this both into one application. Who are our customers? People our first buyers are the people who are against beauty companies, people into big bio products, like I said, people who travel to new places and want to find an artist for them. Also disabled people, if there's someone who can't go to barbershop, maybe an artist can come to them and do the service. So let me give you quickly the business model through one example. So user is paying, let's say, it's really funny, but you will understand it the best if I say user is paying $100 for a haircut. That's an expensive haircut. And if user uses our app, he's getting 3% money back. And we are getting 2% back from this transaction from the commission. Why is this good for artists, maybe you ask? Because artists can reach a bigger audience through this app. At the end of the transaction, you see the numbers. So, beauty begins the moment you decide fake ads and fake social media, or BOT, Team Social Service Network. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for the presentation. May the jury have any questions to the team?
Okay, thank you very much.
And then last but not least, I would like to ask the team Y and A to hold their presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you a gentleman. His name is Benza. He's a 24-year-old student who lives in Szeged, and sometimes he's facing some problems. Sometimes he feels homesick, sometimes he feels depressed because of his studies. According to the research that was made in 2016, where 800 students were, they took participation in the research, out of them, 28% were depressed, 56% they felt self-respect disturbance, and 25% of male and 21% of female, they wanted or were thinking to commit a suicide. So I guess we found the solution, and we are coming, we would like to introduce the project, which is called Inner. You are not alone. What is it? It is an app which helps young generation, especially students who would like to overcome the stress, the depression, the mental health which they get. We, by ourselves, we conducted a small research as well. We asked 20 Hungarian students. 50% out of them feel stressed during the examination period. Mostly of them feel stressed as well before they are going to participate in the classes. So in this app, you will find everything. First of all, there will be online psychologist. Secondly, there will be group session. Then there will be some meditation sessions in order to let you relax, with the guides for habits and growth, psychological exercises where you can actually see the level of your stress, and 24/7 support of the artificial intelligence. So you don't have to struggle alone. You need to share everything with us, and sharing is what makes you cooler. There are two main features that we would like to talk about. The first feature of our app is that there will be two types of artificial intelligence. The first one will be based on the data which is provided by you, by the customer, by students, in order to find someone with whom you can share your ideas or with whom you can see your issue from another perspective. And secondly, actually this artificial intelligence will also help you to detect the problem and gives you suggestions how to solve them. So there will be, we consider this artificial intelligence as the AI doctor. And the second feature is voice and visual assistance, meaning that you will not be just simply texting, you will be talking to your assistant and you will see the visual assistant itself. So, why we decided to, first of all, take into account only Hungarian students, because first of all, we've noticed that Hungarian students are struggling with the English language. Unfortunately, not everyone speaks, and that's why they need the app that helps only to them. And why our YNS service valuable for our customers? First of all, there is no payment, there is quick access, and materials are always available. Plus, it's easy to have a connection with someone with whom you can talk 24/7, because talking to your friends, it's not the solving problems, it's just discussing.
So we're aiming at a very simple business model. We've verified that students, at least the Hungarian students we spoke with and the ones we research, are actually don't want to pay for the app. So we decided to be based on donations. And if the users eventually want extra features, like support from psychologists, they can also pay for those extra features. Regarding the market size we're aiming at, so we have lots of Hungarian students, about 2 million of them. And we think that since we're also students from the master's degrees and bachelor degrees, we're aiming for 300,000 students, and we believe that we can get 10% of those since we are providing some unique features to them. Basically, we have other apps, of course, that compete in this market, and after listing their features and what is unique about them, we think we achieved a good position among this list. So we are also aiming for other places eventually, just not Hungary. We do have an advantage here because Hungarians usually don't speak as much English as other countries we are aiming for, but of course younger students sometimes speak better. But in the end, we want to fulfill a need that is global and very present in all types of students. So basically, you are not alone anymore, and I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I have a couple of questions. One is, I'm not sure I got it completely right, but it's if this is free for the users and you might buy some extra features, how do you plan to make this product financially solid or sustainable? The second one is that it sounds like that this is to be a product which is easily available on an as-needed basis, while in practice these services might be through therapy sessions and on a weekly or bi-weekly session meeting in person. So how do you assure quality on this service on an ongoing basis?
So first of all, the whole program is done by the psychologists who will participate in our projects. Technically, well, they have the education. So the programs are conducted by expert specialists. Secondly, the program is free of charge to use when it comes to the point of the simple materials. For example, guides, psychological tests, and so on and so forth, for meditation sessions. So when it comes to the point of the talking to people, let it be from the same group and forming the charts, it's also free of charge. But the donations are welcome for us, are welcomed, more than welcomed, you know, because it depends on your budget. It depends on your wish how much you would like to donate. But when you want to have an online consultations within expert itself, then we will be charging for that. And for sure, expert's gonna win some certain amount of money, and some percentage will be going to us, because we are the like the connecting point between the customer and clients.
First of all, thanks for the presentation. My question is related to the whole AI situation, because depression and anxiety, it's quite a deeply layered topic in my eyes, and there are so many symptoms or topics that can be discussed in person with a psychologist, or in case of a real doctor. So how do you manage? So do you plan to involve, my first question is, do you plan to involve doctors or just only psychologists, because they are just coming from the social side? I can see that, so they are not real doctors. Because some cases, depression need to be handled and cured with medicine. So this is a crucial point, and I don't see how they get a real or a hard support.
So that's an excellent question, and I think it's also a very serious question, because we're dealing with serious problems, right? The thing is, we are not aiming to help really people that have been medically diagnosed with serious issues, because we think those cases should be left for the people that really comprehend. And even AI, even if it's advanced, when things get very complex, we're dealing with a very fragile subject. So we're dealing more with cases that of more not so huge stress, right? And basically we need to indeed have a team of certified doctors and psychologists. So probably we would need to see how would this composition of the team be to cover all those needs, maybe not just by psychologists, but also other professionals from other branches that can provide a much broader and insights to those students.
We shouldn't forget that this app is a kind of first aid app, meaning it helps on the first steps, because we should remember that all citizens are paying taxes, and there are some institutions which are covered, you know, by the government in order to treat people, you know, if they have psychological problems or the rest of the problems, because the money that they're getting are from the taxes that we are paying, actually, right? So, and this app is just for helping, for detecting if they would like to continue, you know, working on solving their issues, because sometimes they are so afraid to talk, they are so afraid to share what they are feeling.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Just thank you, Jan, for being our inspiration and for the support. Thank you.
Thank you for the YNA team. And now, as soon as you finish with the papers, I would like to ask you to follow Annike. She will escort you to the room where you can discuss the results. And meanwhile, for the students, I would like to ask you to stay for 1 minute. I would like to tell a couple of things. Okay? Are you interested? No. Okay. So one thing is that we have a reservation for tonight at 8 o'clock. You will receive every details in emails. Of course. So we have a reservation at 8 o'clock at a place. You will receive the details in email. And we would like to invite all of you. We actually reserved the whole place for all of us. So we would be very happy to have a great night after this 3-day event. I think everyone was very stressed and tired. So it's going to be a good opportunity for everyone to get to know each other better. And the other thing is the shuttles. I would like to ask everyone to come to me, tell me how and why, because I really need to do it. All right? Thank you. But first of all, we would like to say a huge thank to everyone participated, helped organize this event. We really enjoyed it. We hope that you did too. And first, we would like to ask one person from each team to take the certificates, and you can later on give it to your teammates. So the first team is the hospital AI. Someone? I think it's worth a clap again. Ja, igen. Ja, igen. Sorry, my bad. So I would like to ask the whole team to come out here. And the jury has some feedback for each team. So guys, listen.
Okay, it's on. Hospital AI. Congratulations. Thank you very much for your insights. The managing hospital is a very complex thing, and actually it has its own science and specialization in supply chain management. So you touched a very relevant topic, which has a long way to go. We have a little bit of feedback that there are many systems who are currently supporting a high quality supply chain management in hospitals. So in your new recommendations, I think there are a bunch of areas where if you would go to a good hospital, you would see them implemented, covered. The area which is definitely an opportunity is projecting, forecasting future demand and using AI as a part of the solution as well. So that definitely needs an additional work. And also how we link hospitals to the suppliers and the changing world around it. That has also extremely high opportunities in the future. So that will be the area to continue on if you like this topic and you might want to make a profession out of it for yourself. Thank you so much.
Good job, guys. The next team that I would like to ask to come here is the Marotti. Team Marotti.
So just a couple of words, guys, regarding the idea and the presentation. Thank you very much for coming and working on this idea. It was a great topic, and actually we felt it very relevant all over the world. In every country, in every place, we have people who have problems with their eyes. So I think it's absolutely 100% good choice. And but to be honest, on the other hand side, and everyone in the jury, we couldn't really get the point and the exact way of solution that you offer to the problem. So if you can, or if we can add you or give you an advice to work a bit more on the details behind the idea, because it's really a great innovation. And you did a great job with the presentation, and the answer to the problem was absolutely a relevant answer. So good way, good idea, great potentials in it. Just yeah, keep up the good work. Thank you very much for coming.
You will get your certificates on. Gina. Okay. Then the next team is the Team Green Team.
Yep. So first we talk and then just a couple of words.
Let me switch off my phone.
Yeah, your girlfriend is calling maybe. Okay, so thank you very much for coming, and it was as I mentioned a very nice topic for myself personally as well. And on the other hand side, it's a very relevant and very important topic that you were talking about, I think, in all over the world. But on the other hand side, the jury felt a little bit discriminated because you said that your focus area or target group, first target group was the 25, 35-year-old people in the cities, in the big cities. And maybe we are not in that target group anymore, unfortunately, but it's our problem. But on the other hand side, I think it was a very good topic, very good presentation. Thank you very much for presenting it, and yeah, keep up the good work, I can tell you.
Just
By the way, the order, as I'm saying, the teams is the same as you presented, so it has nothing to do with the end results, all right? The next team is the AgroIntel.
Dear AgroIntel, I think you picked an excellent topic. It's a global problem. You're trying to find a global solution. So we believe that as a relevant idea, it was extremely worth to pick. We also thought that this is where AI has an extremely high relevance, because there is a lot of knowledge which needs to be applied when you want to use this technology. We also felt that probably what we missed from your presentation is a little bit thinking on long term, how you can be truly the best tool to make these decisions on the long run. So we felt that you think a little bit of short term, how you quickly implement it and do something around it, while I think the key of your product is really around to make sure that you have the latest information of how to treat certain plants, and when you move around the world, how do you handle different environment and so on. So we missed a little bit of the long-term vision where you want to be, and then you guys jumped into it as a small and medium-sized enterprise to really implement it. There was also feedback that you need to be careful about government support, because that's always tricky how you get it, even for a good idea. We also felt that it has a relevance to our university, as our researchers also contribute to the development of this tool. So I think we all think that this was a good idea, and thanks for the presentation.
The next team is the Fnd Group. Please come up here.
Yeah, FDN Group. Yeah? Not FND. Never mind. Never mind. Just listen, and it will be much more realistic. Okay, so thanks for coming. You brought us a topic that is, I think, very sensitive, but it have a very high social relevance. So absolutely a good idea, but on the other hand side, we saw that there was maybe a bit of missing the target group. That's why I asked you during the presentation, who is your target group? And you answered that it's absolutely clear that the schools. It's not that absolutely clear from our perspective, because especially in Hungary, if we are talking about Hungary, schools are poor. We can put it like that. They don't really have money. Especially they don't have this type of financial resources that they can spend on solutions like that, even if this is great, on the other hand. So absolutely relevant. It was a great presentation, a great idea behind it. So very good job. Thank you for coming, and keep up the good work. Thanks.
The next team is the BUD.
BUT. So I think everyone in the jury loved your team name and the title. So I think it's very catching, a good marketing tool, while it's really embracing true social problems which are very difficult to address. We were thinking among ourselves why we were quiet and why we didn't ask, and I think we came to the conclusion that although the general and broad idea was very easy to grasp, when you went down to the specific product, the what and how, we felt we had mixed messages. It wasn't that clear what and how you want to deliver. So we ourselves were trying to figure that out. So the message is that I think you are at the right area, but probably you would need to a little bit fine-tune and crystallize what exactly you want to deliver under this name to avoid to be another big company who is just using beauty instead of truly applying the naturality. So think a little bit hard on how to further continue and progress on this project. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice picture. And our last team is the YNA team.
Just come a bit closer, please. Yeah. So, first of all, thank you very much for coming and working on the idea in the last 2.5 days. You have chosen a very serious topic, we think. And the seriousity of this idea is because it needs and it requires a lot of scientific background behind. Otherwise, it cannot give the proper answer to the target group or the users that you would like to target. And that's why I can say that we agreed on that. We felt a little bit missing this scientific background from the concept in general. But then you mentioned that it's only the first step that you would like to offer to the users if they feel bad or depressed. That's okay, but you can never know if they are at the first step or not. So that's why it's important to involve as soon as possible the scientific and professional part. And also there was a question, and maybe it's our actually that we don't know enough about this topic. We don't have the proper knowledge, but the question was if AI can handle this type of problem solving or identifying problems properly. We don't know, but I think it can be a point to work further on and think about it a little bit deeper. If you can do that, it can be a viable product and it can be absolutely a great application at the end. So thank you very much for coming. Congratulations.
So now that we have finished with all the teams, then what you have been waiting for is coming, the end result. I asked the jury to tell who won.
Finally, the winner of the competition is the Marotti team. Congratulations.
So thank you a lot, Tori. We're all staggered, so we don't know what to say. But all of us went through the same process. All of us have a team. All of us have to go and meet new people, people with new nationalities. None of us is from an English-speaking country originally, so that's very hard, and it's a language barrier that we all have to go through. So congratulate all of you, because we may be here like in a made-up podium, but you're all winners, I guess. So congratulate you all, and another round of applause for all of us. But once again, thank you. And another thing, the armator is not here. He was in Budapest, but we also want to thank him a lot. Zlatan, thank you a lot. You were a great help. Yeah. Guys want to say something? So, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, welcome. And now, let's party, guys. We have to finish this good, right? Damn, okay. Thanks so much. So,
what they won is 1 year access to all of the University of Szeged's materials on Coursera, further mentoring by the Virtus Mentor team, and also a trip to Szeged at a time when we can do that. Without further ado, I think we have finished. I would like to also thank to everyone, our volunteers, who have throughout the 3 days. They work a club. All the mentors that helped all the teams during the journey, that's result you can see it tonight. So for the mentors as well. And the jury, of course, for accepting and coming to this event. And for Andy, that she made it in person here. And also for you guys, students. You should be proud of yourself. Congratulations to each of you. And I have one more task that Annika will help with. We prepared a little something for the mentors and the jury members. So I would like to ask Sándor Huszár, one of the mentors, to come here. Thank you for your contribution. Jan Frederick Kuma. Pascal Versailles. Veronique T. Byron. That's a four jury. And also the jury. I think you can come all together and we just. Again, Eszter Megyeri, Andrea Dyker, Antal Ördög, and Péter Marotti. It was long, these 3 days, but you made it. You did a great job. We hope that you learned a lot about startups, startup culture, entrepreneurship, and all business aspects that you need in order to start a business, start your own business. We hope that it's not going to stop here. And you will continuously looking for your own innovative ideas, and you will work on them, and eventually you will found your own startup. So I wish you the best, and yeah, as Duarte said, like, let's go party, right? I wasn't alone, I have to admit now, it wasn't only me. I had also my colleagues and the volunteers. Thank you, guys. You can go. You will receive the email about the place where we are going tonight. And yeah, you can go home. Having dinner at the place is optional, so you can have dinner before if you feel so. You can have dinner there. It's totally up to you. All right? See you guys.